Here we go. All right. If you remember, this is the Dvar Malchut. This is a speech spoken by the Lubavitcher Rebbe. It was a whole series of speeches that was given by the Lubavitcher Rebbe right at the end of 1991, beginning of 1992, just a few months before he had a stroke, 2 months before he had a stroke. And the stroke was debilitating, that he couldn't speak anymore. So these were very, very important speeches that the Rebbe gave, and they all deal with Moshiach. The necessity of Moshiach, the importance of Moshiach, what exactly Moshiach will do, how Moshiach will improve all mankind, how Moshiach will fix up the world, and only Moshiach can do it. Well, what is exactly the implication? And because this is so far away from our day-to-day life, and this idea of what a perfect world is supposed to be, so therefore the Rebbe has to really explain it in a very, very deep way. And there's so many misconceptions, especially about this idea of Mashiach. Possibly we can say that that's the most misunderstood idea in Judaism and in the world, for sure. Like I've said so many times, there's like 2.5 billion people in the world, right? All Christianity that has a totally wrong idea of what Mashiach is. Totally. The whole idea is totally wrong. And they somehow or other, they took it from the Torah, and they claim the Torah, and the whole thing is just completely wrong from the beginning to the end. There's not one, even little bit of truth, except two things. The Torah is true. The Torah is definitely true, right? And number two, Mashiach is necessary, 100%. Mashiach is very, very necessary. Even though they've warped these two ideas totally, but nevertheless, those two things are very true. So we have to explain. The Rebbe is here to explain. The Rebbe is the Mashiach. The necessity of Mashiach, what Mashiach is, and how exactly Mashiach fits into the Torah. What's the whole idea of the Torah? So the Rebbe said the main thing of Mashiach is, just like we finished learning in Torah Or, the main thing of Mashiach is revealing God in the world, revealing the Creator in His creation, revealing the purpose of creation, revealing the importance and holiness of every detail of the physical world. That's the thing of Mashiach, the physical world. That's the thing of Judaism, physical world. That this physical world should radiate meaning and blessing and holiness, everything in the world. And this really only happened after the Torah was given. When the Torah was given, then God revealed His true name. At the giving of the Torah, God revealed His essence to the whole of the Jewish people. 3 million people saw God. Panim lepanim, it says, face to face. They saw God, they heard God directly. So there's nothing like the Jewish people after the giving of the Torah. That's why God put them in Egypt, to prepare them for the Torah, to prepare them for this revelation. Nevertheless, this Torah portion is called Vo'era, how God appeared to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That was only a small revelation that God gave to them. It was called the name El Shaddai, Kel Shaddai. But nevertheless, that seems to be the most dominant thing in this Torah portion. That's the whole name of it. What God appeared to Abraham. So somehow or other, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are higher than us. Aval became, nevertheless, this Torah portion is called the Era. I appeared to Abraham, and my name of Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, the essence name of God, I did not let known to them. What's so high about that? Why is the whole Torah portion called on that name? Kavan, since the Inyan Zeh Haya b'mitzvahs Mila Bilavad, because Abraham did open the door to the revelation of God in this physical world. How? By a circumcision. God commanded Abraham, just like He commanded the Jews at Mount Sinai, He commanded Abraham to do something physical. That's the commandments. And what was it? To circumcise himself. And that's what it means. Abraham was the first one that we did this yesterday. That's what I was telling you. Abraham drew godliness, the revelation of godliness in the physical world from a level of Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, which was above the world. Since this name of Yud Kei Vav Kei, which is only revealed in Mount Sinai, and God did not reveal it to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but the name Yud Kei Vav Kei, it is unlimited. Because of this tremendous revelation of godliness, which is the essence of God, this name of God, Yud Kei Vav Kei, right? It should be Yud Hey Vav Hey, but we don't say it. I'm just saying. This is the light of God, which is unlimited. It can be drawn down below also. It's not limited to being spiritual. Since by Abraham, he was the first one to draw this holiness into the physical world, but he only drew it into one place, only in the place of the circumcision. Aver Begufo, one limb of one person of Abraham. Of a Ba'olam, but in the world, this revelation was not made. At Mount Sinai, it started. Lo nikar b'tokef, therefore, but Abraham, you couldn't, even though it was revealed, but you couldn't see the true power of the unlimited light of God, unlimited, the essence of God being revealed in the world in the circumcision, because it was only revealed in one place. My God, my name, I didn't make known to them. But on the other hand, since this drawing down of the holiness in the circumcision, which is in the physical body of Abraham, was by the essence of God, a power which is unlimited. This is the beginning of the revelation of the unlimited name of God that was completed at Matan Torah. We're going to see it wasn't completed. Matan Torah was also a beginning, and the Moshiach is going to reveal it in the whole world. Because in Matan Torah, it was revealed in the world. Yes, God was revealed in the world. By Abraham, it was revealed only in this one limb of this one person. By Matan Torah, it was revealed in the physical world on a mountain to millions of Jews. They all saw it, but still, it was only temporary. And it was only in one place. The world, this is the whole world shook, but they didn't feel this revelation of God. And afterwards, it was put into the Holy Temple. It was still only in one place in Israel. But this power, which is unlimited, that by means of this, it is drawn down below. It wasn't revealed so much in Abraham that it was revealed also in the world. According to this, now we can understand what it says. Shemi Hashem lo nodati. It says, my name, God, I did not make known to them. It doesn't say that I didn't I didn't show them. It doesn't say lo odati. It doesn't say I didn't show them. Lo nodati. I didn't make known. It wasn't recognized. That the essence name of God should be revealed everywhere. It's unlimited. And by Abraham, this unlimitedness was revealed only in one place of his body. Therefore, it was not made known in a revealed way. The main thing of the revelation of God, this began, it began when Abraham circumcised himself. That was the beginning. So that was a preparation for the giving of the Torah. But over here, in a deeper way, in addition to the fact that Abraham began joining the essence of God with the physical world, which that's the main novelty of giving him the Torah, Abraham began this in the circumcision. There is also by the son and the grandson of Abraham, Yitzchak and Yaakov, they're called the Avos, the fathers, and from this it was drawn down to us, we're the Banim, and there was something even higher. What was it? The novelty of joining the upper worlds and the lower worlds was in the world. That the world was divided to upper worlds and lower worlds until there was a decree and God made, so to speak, a law and a division, hefsek, not hapsak, and a division between the upper worlds and the lower worlds. The upper worlds did not come down, and the lower worlds did not go up. At Mount Sinai, the whole thing changed. It became, all of a sudden, there was a connection between the upper worlds and the lower worlds. The lowest commandment, tefillin, was the highest thing. On the other hand, so the lowest reached the highest essence of God, that gave God pleasure. On the other hand, God's will came down into the lowest thing, to the world, the commandments. dargas elokus, but as far as the level of godliness, which is above, up and below, lo shayach hazir of hefsek bein elyonim v'tachtonim. The Rebbe is saying there's three, if you want to call it, aspects. There's the creation, the physical world. Then there's the creation, the spiritual worlds. Then there's the essence of God. The essence of God is not in the lower worlds any more than he's in the higher worlds. Is not in the higher worlds any more than he's in the lower worlds. In fact, by the essence of God, there are no lower worlds and higher worlds. Everything is just creation. It's just as hard for God to make a stone as it is for him to make an angel. Right? Here in this physical world, we can make a stone. You take dirt and press it together. You can make a stone. Right? You can artificial diamonds you can make in this world. But angels, we can't make an angel. By God, to make an angel is the same thing as by making a grain of sand. So it comes out that the upper worlds and the lower worlds are equal by God, even before the giving of the Torah. The whole novelty of the giving of the Torah was that even in the physical world, that the physical world, God made a division between the upper worlds and the lower worlds. Nevertheless, there could be drawn down into the physical world an aspect of God which is above, which is beyond being high or low. That's what Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob did. They were able to relate to the essence of God. Mizeh, from this, we can understand also to be revealing the God to the Jewish people in Mount Sinai. Like it says, Amor lebnei Yisrael ani Hashem. Say to the Jewish people, that's what God said to Moses right in the beginning. I am God, Yud Kei Vav Kei. I was the one who took them for me as a nation, and they will know that I am God. The whole novelty of giving of the Torah was attached with the service of the Jewish people in this physical world by doing Torah commandments, namely that they could relate to the essence of God to join the upper worlds, the spiritual worlds, and the physical worlds. Okay, you might think to yourself, one second, if God is the essence of God, so what do we need spiritual worlds for? We'll just do the commandments, got the essence of God. The spiritual worlds, they bring us love and fear. They activate our personalities. The upper worlds, that's so to speak, the personality of God. How God loves us, how God is awesome, how God is beautiful, how God is diverse, these are all, we see this in the upper worlds. From this, we can start to attach our diversity and our love and our power and our beauty. And this, we can attach ours to God. Appreciate, so many stars there are. Such a beautiful sunset. Look at the power of the sea, the wind with it. Right? This is all created by God. Think how powerful God is. Think how good God is. That's what all the spiritual worlds are there for. That we can appreciate God. The same thing with the Torah. The Torah is an aspect of God's, so to speak, spiritual, his wisdom, his understanding, even his will. The main thing of the Torah is, of course, all these things, but the main thing of the Torah is the essence of it. The essence of godliness, which is only brought through the Torah. Says that Torah united the upper worlds and the lower worlds. But even before the Torah was given, there was the essence of the Jewish people. And the essence of God was revealed in Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They were the beginning of the Jews. The Jews are higher than the Torah. If a Jew transgresses the whole entire Torah, and he says, wow, I'm a Jew, I made a big mistake, that's it. He's forgiven. And that really deals with every human being. Any human being, listen, if you kill somebody, you can't, repent and bring the person back to life. There's different levels of repentance for different things. But the idea is you are judged totally according to your deeds. Your deeds, your actions, your speech, your thought. And if a person changes, in 1 second he changes, he's connected to God's essence, he changes. That's what it means, especially the Jewish people, they're the leaders in this. The thought of the Jewish people, this was before everything. The Jewish people, they are an example in this physical world of God's essence. Above the spiritual, that was begun. That's what Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob began. This is the level of the fathers. Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. This is the source of the essence of every Jew. This began with Abraham, Avram, Rosh Hamaminim, the beginning of the believers. That Abraham was the one that opened up. I mean, in Abraham's generation, there was a lot of religion. It says that Abraham broke all these idols that his father had. People were very religious, right? We're going to have soon the holiday of not so. Let's forget about that. We had Paro. Paro said that I know all the gods in the world. I don't know who this Yud-Ke Vav-Ke is. What God are you talking about? He said to Moses. And I don't know this God you're talking about. He creates everything, this essence. Abraham was the first one to open up this connection to the essence of God, the creator of the universe, who's infinitely close to each one of us. He was the one to open up this pipeline of the faith and self-sacrifice. That's the main thing. That comes from the essence of the soul. The big novelty of revealing the name of, as if so, that was by Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. What do we have to have the Torah for? The big novelty of the Torah is that the essence of the Jewish people, this is the level of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, should be drawn down and it should be revealed in a revealed way inside of each and every Jew in the powers of our soul. That's what the Torah did. Not just that the Torah was a bunch of laws. It is 100%. The Torah is a bunch of laws. And not just that it was given by God to us. That's also true. But that it woke something up inside of us. It made us into who we really are. It revealed the essence of the soul of every Jew and gave the power of every Jew to reveal the essence and the soul of everything in the world, especially every human being. Even how it is in the physical world, in this physical Kadean order, to cause in the world, by doing Torah and the commandments, drawing down the essence of godliness, which is above, up, and down. Above spiritual and physical, the essence of God. That's what the commandments are. In more detail, Chidush the Matan Torah, the whole novelty of giving of the Torah regarding the Jewish people, and by means of the Jewish people, also in the world. What did the Torah cause? Not just revealing God in the physical world, that the essence of God, we said, is in the physical world, but mainly drawing down what was drawn into the physical world. Not just the spirituality of God, but the essence of God. Only by means of drawing down God, the essence of God, can only be revealed in the physical world. It's not limited by anything. Therefore, it's drawn into everything. Okay, that's what I wanted to say in the beginning. That's what I wanted to say. This world is not just an interruption of God's oneness. Before the world was created, everything was good. After the world finished, everything is good. The world is like a big pimple or something, like a big blemish in the middle, and we just have to make the most of it, right? Wrong. The purpose of this world is not to go to heaven. The purpose of this world is to give pleasure to the creator of the universe. So to speak, before God created the universe, his essence was not revealed. It wasn't revealed to himself. And this makes no sense, but that's what the Rebbe is saying. Before God created the world, he had no pleasure. The pleasure is the essence. Before God created the world, there was God was, so to speak, depressed. You ever see a person that's depressed? They don't want to live. They don't want nothing. They don't care about anything. So to speak, that's how the world was before God created it. God was like depressed. He wasn't revealed. There was no pleasure. His will was not expressed. So there was God, man. God's oneness. God really started. I mean, I hope that you won't think this is total apostasy, what I'm saying. But God only really had pleasure. He only became really awake when he created the world. That was revealing God's essence, the essence of God. Without the essence of God, so to speak, that's not really God. The world, God really only started when he created the world. That's how important we are to God. Every detail that we do is infinite if you do something true. That's what happened when the Torah was given. It revealed to us what good is, what God wanted us to do. She'eno, it's not limited to anything. Therefore, it's drawn down into everything and every place. This is the drawing down of God's essence. And through this physical world, this was also by Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. When? Especially through the circumcision. I mean, Abraham circumcised himself. Obviously, Yitzchak, obviously circumcised. Abraham circumcised him when he was 8 days old. Obviously, Yaakov was circumcised. Right? There was God revealed in this physical world. Because it was not drawn into really the physical world, just one place in one person's body, therefore it wasn't revealed so much the essence. Because of the lack of limitations, header limitations, but the essence of God is drawn everywhere. That's the essence of God. God is the creating everything. Rak la'achrei matan Torah, but this was only revealed in a big way when the Torah was given. Then there was drawn down holiness in the whole entire physical world. Then you could see the essence of God. You could see how God gets pleasure from what we do. Nevertheless, this power to draw down the essence of God, it began by Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's what it means, Erel Avot. Because what we do, we're the sons, we're the offspring of Abraham after the giving of the Torah. The main thing is to bring this revelation that the Father started, to bring it into the world. Upper worlds, lower worlds, which is not the case, the service of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Their main thing is from the essence of the soul. They drew down the essence. They showed us our attitude. And with this power, we can do what we do, which we inherited this from our fathers, in a way that it reveals and permeates the essence of God into everything below. I mean, the fact is, even the circumcision that Abraham did, we don't do it because Abraham did. The commandment of circumcision did not come from Abraham. The commandment of circumcision, it's a sentence in Parshas Tazria, B'yom Shmini Yamol Basar Alaso. And this 8th day, he circumcised your children. What did Abraham do? Abraham gave the whole attitude behind it. Abraham brought the godliness of the commandment, of all the commandments, of our attitude to the essence of God. And Yeshlomo, we can say that's what happened in Mount Sinai. Mount Sinai, this is the idea of the marriage of the Jewish people with God. Yom Chatunuta is a Matan Torah. Then it says when a person gets married, his fathers and his grandfathers, 3 generations before, they come to the wedding. You know that? That's a saying by the Rebbes. And then when a Jewish person gets married, that his parents, his grandparents, and his great-great-parents, maybe even more, but at least that, they come to the wedding. But spiritually, they're there. It says the day that God gave the Torah to the Jews, that was the marriage of God. He was the groom. The Jewish people were the bride. So it says the parents come, 3 generations, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. They came to the wedding. Just like, okay, it's 3 generations. Then in this, it stresses 2 things. Number 1, that the service, what we do, we are the children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. After the wedding of Matan Torah, after Matan Torah was given, the wedding day, this is the power of the Avos, Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. They all came to the wedding. And number 2, that the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, this essence that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob revealed, Mitkale is revealed now by each and every one of us through what we do, the Bani, what we do. And tomorrow we'll start do Zion. Let's just do Yom Yom. That was pretty beautiful. That was pretty heavy, if you ask me. I mean, you're not asking me, but I'm groaning and moaning about the bad situation in the world, and the world is really in a bad situation. But groaning itself, it won't help. Groaning, it opens up the heart and the eyes, so you don't sit there with folding eyes. At least you're sensitive. You're not you're not aloof from the world. You're sensitive. You see the troubles. It's such a terrible thing. But to plan orderly work and activity, you want to fix things up, you have to do something. Each person, wherever you can be effective, to campaign the bolstering of Torah, spreading Torah, and the doing of the commandments. One person could do this through writing, one person could do this speaking, another person could give charity. And I'll add on, a person sometimes just saying a good word to somebody, just thinking good thoughts about another person. Instead of thinking about somebody, how much you hate the guy, think about why I wish this person would change. I hope he will change. You pray for him. You think good thoughts. A good thought can change the whole entire world. A good word, even more so. I think more so. A good deed, even more than that. All three of them, how much more so? But to do something, just groaning and say, "We, those poor people suffering over there in China, and this is such a terrible world." It just makes you depressed. Then you do even less. The idea is to do. Change the world through an action, through a word, through a thought, but do something. Moaning is just the beginning. Have a good day with Moshiach. Now, see you at 3:00, I hope.